images you gave me is another story because there's so many. It's like, oh, here's 500 images, and I've seen some of them from before. And we're live, by the way, and in mid myself
complaint.
But anyway, welcome everybody. The probably 3 people that will be watching this between now and September. But anyway, this is the Enormous UFO Super Show number, I don't remember what number it is, 29. We're doing this on the 14th of January in 2017. For those that would know that we did a Polygon yesterday because we had Skip Talbot.
Woohoo!
Which Matt got, and then Matt decided to get himself hosed. Anyway.
Hosed?
As in liquored up.
Nah.
Not during the show. He did that the day prior. But anyway.
I had a celebratory drink for securing my first guest.
And then he decided it was so good he had another. So.
Just one.
Yeah.
Just one. It's okay.
But anyway. Ooh, excuse me. Now I'm burping. But anyway. Tonight we were going to do another show because Skip's episode was more of a topical show. And we didn't talk about what was coming because there's bad weather coming. There's been bad weather. Not here, but near here. So we're going to discuss that and what's been going on and whatnot. And there's been a few things that have come up that I've noticed. For example, it came from the Barron Weather Conference in Huntsville.
Yes.
That the first image of Ghost 16 is on Monday, the 23rd, which is a week from Monday. 23rd. And that's when they'll find out if it sucks. I would assume they've been testing it to see that everything is working, because if they wait till the 23rd and then it's not working, then we have to wait a year for the next goes to go up. And I don't think anybody's going to want to wait another year.
I really don't think the first image is going to suck.
Well, I'm hoping the Go 16 works.
I think we know about that by now.
At least they're not calling it Goes R anymore. At least they're calling it by its number now, since it is up there. So,
it's in orbit.
So that came out from the Barron conference, which I saw some tweets about because I follow several people that were there. And I know Jeff Petrowski mentions it because Jeff Petrowski works for Barron.
Yes.
And that's a guest that Matt has tried to email, and he's been shafted by him, as far as we know, mainly because Jeff has probably been at the Barron conference, and now he's going to try to get back home to Tulsa without sliding away. Since Tulsa's been having ice like about everybody else from between here and Amarillo.
Lots of ice issues out that way.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to discuss. There's been one round of ice already, which didn't hit us, thank goodness, because I didn't want to have to put up with 2 rounds.
Yeah, that would not have been fun.
Yeah. There was at least, from what I saw, at least a half an inch of ice south of St. Louis that I saw. There was quite a bit of ice around Oklahoma City, Tulsa. I think there was a little bit of freezing rain around Indianapolis over to Columbus, Ohio. But nothing here because it was bright and sunny. And I saw a tweet today, which I almost had to laugh about. This was from Brian Bud, who said that a person was mad that they weren't getting any ice, and they said, quote, "I have been bamboozled by Brian Busby," and another person, Gary Lezak, and they're mad that they said there's an ice storm coming and it didn't come or something, because they thought it was going to be icy this whole time. given that there's 2 breaks, at least down there.
Right.
And it's like I think people hear the word ice and then they don't hear anything else. And I think it's almost to the problem of saying tornado warning, and then it's like, okay, tornado warning, not for me, and then they just go about their business, and then they'll be the ones that are killed, or the ones that'll say, I had no warning. Like, is there this many stupid people that just hear what they want to hear and not what is being said? They don't want the details. They just hear the word ice and they say it's coming, and then they say, well, it's not doing it now. You said it was going to happen the entire time, and they didn't damn say that, because it's like nobody listens to the weather. They just are like, I won't go any further because I'm getting into a rat hole. So, but the second round of ice is going to be way worse, as is evident by all the advisories and warnings and whatnot. Except for us.
Pictures I sent you.
Yeah, except us. We're under a winter weather advisory, which pretty much means in most people's cases is not going to do anything. Go outside and play. Because winter weather advisory could mean, this is how this, and Henry and I, back when Henry did the show, he was doing Polygon, we went off on winter weather advisory because it's too broad. Winter weather advisory could mean blowing snow. It could mean it's going to snow a little bit. It could mean it's going to freezing rain a little bit, which in this case it is for us, or sleet, or a combination of the two, or a combination of anything. And I'm thinking, and this goes off in this because we'll get to this ice. There was one time, this was when I was still doing the network stuff, that we had a winter weather advisory for blowing snow, and people asked Henry and I and other people, how much snow are we getting? None. Well, why is there an advisory out? It's going to be blowing snow. Well, why don't they issue a blowing snow advisory? Well, they used to, but they don't anymore. Well, that's dumb. And I'm like, no kidding. That's not a diss on the Weather Service. I think they're like, anything is winter weather. Well, heck, we should be under a winter weather advisory all the time. Why? It's cold outside. It must be winter. Oh, winter started on December 20, whatever it started on. We should be under a winter weather advisory until March. Because why? It's winter. And there's weather outside, so that's a winter weather advisory. I'm being cynical, but not too by far, because too many people, it's too broad. Winter weather could mean it could be sunny out anymore. I mean, today was a nice day. It was cold, but not overly so compared to what it was a few weeks ago when it was below zero. This is like heaven. Get out the shorts and t-shirts. But and comparatively speaking to what's going to happen next week, where it's going to be even warmer, where Matt's going to be going out on his motorcycle to go and get himself pneumonia. But
nah, I'll bundle up.
Well, yeah, but the winter weather advisory, it would have been better for us, at least on our side of the state where we're under winter weather advisory, because I'll bring that up that Matt brought over the 5 million pictures he sent me. That's not it. That's not it. That's it. Okay. And I think this came from the Weather Service. It's a Weather Service thing, because I saw this image before you sent it to me. Here it is. And of course, it decides it wants to be stupid. So it is a little bit goofy ball, but you can see there's the ice storm warning is in western Iowa, down into Missouri. Poor northeast Missouri, poor Clark and Scotland County. Too bad for you. You're not in an ice storm warning, but everybody near you is. Too bad. You'll just not get any. Oh, bye-bye. Matt left because he knew it was bad news. Oh, and I can't. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Matt knew that this show. That now I'm screen sharing my thing. Okay, back to this. Okay. Stupid computer. Anyway, see the ice storm warning in Iowa, Missouri, Nebraska, and whatnot. But Clark and Scotland County, Missouri, too bad for you. You don't get a winter. You don't get an ice storm warning because evidently it's going to stop right at the border. So if you're in northern Lewis County, Missouri, you're going to get an ice storm and the power is going to go out. But if you're in southern Clark County, Missouri, too bad. Bye-bye, Matt. You're not going to get anything. So too bad. So I mean, anyway, now, yeah, Matt's messing up his thing because his phone is deciding it doesn't like him. But I mean, this is what irritates me because it's a weather service thing. And I mean, I'm going to look it up because see, this dark pink is winter storm warning. This is the winter storm watch, which may or may not be changed by this point. There's the ice storm warning. There's the freezing rain advisory. So evidently, if you're in Lewis County, which is Lewis, right? If you're in Lewis County, you get tons of ice, and your power will go out, and you're all gonna be. It's horrible. But oh no, if you leave from Canton, Missouri, and you go up to say Cahokia, Missouri, oh, you're going to get nothing because evidently the ice isn't good enough for even a freezing rain advisory that they have over here. You only get a winter weather advisory because you're not good enough or something. I mean,
the reason why they're doing that is because I think this far east there will be problems, but I think the changeover from freezing rain to regular old rain is going to happen fairly quickly.
Well,
thus the issues will be confined to a pretty narrow window.
Well, most of the freezing rain here is going to be at night. It's going to be Sunday night because it says Sunday during the day is going to be, at least around here, is going to be mostly cloudy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't count on it at all. I will make a guess that there's probably going to be some issues starting this afternoon. But anyway. But the thing that it just gives me the things, it's like, well, if the weather service in Lincoln says it's freezing rain here, you would think the weather service in Davenport would have probably taken like McDonough County, Hancock, Lee, and Van Buren, and Clark and Scotland County and made them into a freezing rain advisory because you would think the freezing rain would be more important down here, unlike up here where we are, where the main problem is going to be sleet and freezing rain with a little bit of snow. Because the further north you're going to go in this, it's going to be more snow issue changing to freezing rain. Whereas where the ice storm is, it's going to be pretty much all freezing rain. And then it's going to change to rain, but not till Monday. And then it's supposed to rain until Tuesday morning. And I'm thinking Monday night, I saw the weather service forecast, the point forecast. It says Monday night, low 32 and rain. You get a 1 degree difference downward, and you're talking another ice event again. Mm-hmm. So, and who's to say even at 32 it won't be freezing rain? 32 in the air is fine, but if the ground temperature is 30, it's going to be freezing rain, even if it's 32 or even 33. If the ground temperature is colder than that, I mean, you could have the shallow cold air even down to about 2 feet. Even if it's 33 at 10 feet, but it's 30 at the surface, everything's going to freeze. So, but I digress. But that's what's...
We'll have to wait and see.
But I know Matt sent me all these pictures, and yes, showing his thing because of this. But I'm sure Matt wants me to look at this lovely thing, the saying that, look at all this freezing rain. Yeah, do we actually agree with this? Because this seems to be overblown because this is the most freezing rain I've seen in any model, even up here where it's saying a ½ an inch. The weather service isn't even saying we're supposed to get that. And they're still at about a 2/10, quarter of an inch or less. That's why it's a winter weather advisory. And I'm not even seeing them showing hardly any snow, maybe a half an inch at best.
Yeah, there definitely won't be any snow.
You know,
all the snow will be up in northwest Iowa, where all the cold,
well, that's going to be where the ice is going to be the worst, and the snow is going to be the worst. I mean, they seem to just. I think the problem is because this goes through Wednesday. It makes me think that they're thinking that this model is thinking that everything's going to be freezing rain through Tuesday. Now, whether or not on Monday the temperature doesn't get much above freezing and we have freezing rain longer,
I don't think that'll happen.
Or if the temperature drops Monday night and we go back into about a freezing rain again. So I don't know. That it's something, because there's several. I don't know how many of these you want me to go through.
I sent you all of them just so I could.
Because the NAM is
the range of
you know, because the NAM that I'm looking at, I'm not showing it, is probably closer to what I think it's going to be, except it still says that Kansas is going to see 2 inches of ice.
Mm-hmm.
If that was to happen, Kansas might as well go into a state of emergency, and Brownback might as well close the state. Because 2 inches of ice will pretty much cripple that state for a week. Even though, oh, that's right, it's in the western part of Kansas. Nobody cares about them. I'm being cynical again, but I mean, out there, it's like 2 inches of ice in, say, Hayes down to Dodge City. I mean, there's not a whole heck of a lot out there. So there could be places out there that if they were to get this much ice, there may be no power for the entire rest of the month of January. Maybe even longer. Because I know that we've had ice storms that have been not that bad, but similarly bad, that there's been areas of the state that had no power for up to 2 weeks.
Right.
And
I don't think that.
And we're not talking about in the middle of nowhere areas, too.
I was just showing you. I sent you all of those just so I could kind of highlight the range of potential inside the realm of the models.
Mm-hmm.
You know, will all these play out? No. There's going to be something in the middle of all these that will happen.
You know,
where I think the best chances are if you go to the GFS one. Yes.
Well, I'm gonna.
I think that's probably going to be closer.
I'm gonna go to the 18. I'm gonna go to 18Z now, since 18Z is out.
Oh, that's right.
But I'm bringing the Pivotal Weather site up on my computer, so don't try to do it on your phone. So
we'll look through it together.
Because I'm on GFS. I mean, you could look at the NAM 3 kilometer, 4 kilometer, 12 kilometer, 6 million kilometer, gazillion kilometer. I like how we're prepared and then we're not prepared. I mean, 18Z, anything is like a throwaway model, but in this case, when it's like close, you almost have to take it into consideration. So I might bring mine.
I'm going to do a little something different. I'm going to go to the HRRR.
Okay, so I have GFS running on mine. I mean, this is probably more typical of what I've been seeing around at least our area. Maybe a tenth or a tenth and a half to as much as maybe 3.5 tenths in far western Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a little underdone, but I mean, I could bring up the snowfall to see if the GFS is saying this will be more cold or colder than whatnot. So if I bring this out, yeah, it says we're going to get snow on Tuesday. I don't know about that unless the temperatures drop, but I mean, they have the snow mainly, in the Siouxland, up in South Dakota, up into Minnesota, like Twin Cities. This is almost like dusting, and I'm wondering with snow if they're actually taking snow and maybe even sleet Because sometimes if you have a sleet accumulation, they'll count that as snow in certain aspects.
Okay.
Now I'm going to do the precipitation type and rate, which will, now this is why we're having this problem anyway, because this is a good aspect right here. The 540 line, according to the model, is pretty much right overhead. And from, I've always known from what I was told, 540 line would indicate freezing. So the interesting thing is, when the 540 line is right above us, and then you look as it moves north, problem is the surface is not above freezing. So that's where you run into this problem with all this pink down here, which is freezing rain. And then you see the temperature warming up on Monday, because this is as it goes into Monday. The ice remains back here. There's the snow. This is a cold rain. And then it ends as maybe a few flurries here, and then it goes away. But then you notice the 540 line immediately bumps back north, which leads to why next week it's going to get warm again. Because it's not going to stay cold long. It's just going to immediately warm up.
Yep.
And I mean, I could keep going through this. There's another storm that's going to bring more rain. And then there's a storm that's going to miss us with snow to the south. And then we're off into the boonies by this point. This is way over to almost the end of the month. So, but you notice by the end of the month, look at the line. Now it's 516, which more or less means it ain't going to stay warm. But I know you have probably something. The HRRR would give you a good idea what goes on. If you're going to do it, I'd do it in the plains. Because Iowa, we're not going to get much of anything. You'd have to do it like centered in Kansas or something or other. I mean, I'm looking at the temperatures on Monday. But on Sunday night, temperatures are going to be here, according to GFS, in the mid-20s. If the cold air is not as shallow, we'll get sleet. But it doesn't warm up above freezing, according to the GFS, until noon. And then even then, it's 33, 34. And then it drops back below freezing late Tuesday night into Wednesday. So, and then after that, it warms back up into the 40s. And then toward the end of the month, I see not warm temperatures anymore. So, but
we shall see.
Yeah. I mean, well, the one thing that was interesting, and I'm going to find it. So let me do this. I'm going to do a sounding from the GFS model. Not that one. I want midnight Monday morning over Cedar Rapids. So I'm showing this now. This is why we're going to have freezing rain. Because look, it says right here, freezing rain, and you can see why. There's where it's above zero, right?
There's your warm nose.
And you can see the air is moist all the way up to the 200 millibar level. That is indicative that this shows that there's going to be freezing rain, but it's not that warm above the surface, though. We're not talking, that's 850, so that's what?
5,000 feet.
5,000 feet off the ground. The temperature might be, 2 Celsius. It's not going to be like 50, 5,000 feet up. It's going to be like 35, 36. So it's not going to be. So the thing is going to be is as the rain falls back through this cold layer, which will be about 3,000 feet deep from the surface to 3,000 or so.
Yep.
Is that going to be enough for a cold rain at 36 to freeze into what would be known as sleet, or is it going to stay as super cooled water, which can drop all the way into the 20s, and then fall as freezing rain? Because that's what I'm more concerned about, especially when you have a 26 and the dew point of 22. I mean, it says freezing rain, but it wouldn't surprise me if, honestly, if that shallow, if this layer was just a little bit further up, it would be more sleet than anything. This indicates to me more freezing rain / sleet, which is probably why they're talking about sleet too.
Yep.
That doesn't indicate snow at all, because even if it snows, it's going to melt here. Now, whether that melts and then refreezes again into sleet is another story. So, because I was looking at the soundings and whatnot, but but this is the GFS, and a lot of people don't care about the GFS. I mean, I could look at the 3-kilometer NAM, and I'd probably maybe get the same thing. They have a warmer temperature. They have it at 30. So
interesting.
And is it going to give me a sounding? Give me a sounding. Hello, sounding. No, maybe you're not going to give me. Well, screw you, sounding. But the 3-kilometer NAM doesn't want to give me soundings. Well, then screw you. I'd have to do it down to 4-kilometer. Now, let's see what the 4-kilometer NAM is going to tell me. The temperature is now going to be 30. So it's about, so it is the same. Yay. Now give me a thank you. The 3-kilometer is new, so I assume there's not enough data for it for doing things. Look at that. Now that is more impressive. How it butts up real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Stays right near 0 for a long time and then it comes off. That is, and that's good night. That's what from here to there is maybe what, 1,500 feet, if that.
Maybe.
That looks like freezing rain perfectly. But it stays right at 0 for quite a long time. So does the snow up here melt enough for it to then refreeze again? I mean, and this is what's driving weather people nuts, especially the Weather Service or TV people, because just one little line, either the line moving a little bit to the right or left, changes everything. You could go from having a cold rain to having an ice storm. And it's just so bothersome.
Yep, this is what brings weather people to their knees.
And yeah, this is what leads them to have stress. And then that's why they lose all their hair. So, I mean, it's just annoying. I know the NAM has, because yeah, look at this. Yummy. Doesn't this look just lovely?
Mm-hmm.
This is unacceptable. And now this green you see here is obviously not rain because it's too cold. So it's obviously probably freezing rain. Also, it just can't compute it. But yeah, heavy freezing rain. Yep, that's not good enough. Nope, sorry. That is. I'm wondering how much snow they're predicting. Did you look at this particular model yet? For
around here, not much.
On the NAM 4-kilometer?
I haven't seen that. No. It was starting to make the live feed act wonky, so I closed out. So you're in the driver's seat for this one, buddy.
Yeah, so this is what the NAM 4-kilometer is saying on 18Z. It's saying we're going to get, and I like how I can do this. I can point at it, and it's telling me that we would, in Anamosa, get about 0.2. But this right back here, this would be horrifying in Nebraska. Now, there's no people out there that are saying that they're not going to get that much ice. That might be overdoing it. They might be counting sleet. But it wouldn't surprise me if they get a 1/2 inch ice, maybe 0.6. But 1 1/3, I don't think so.
Still 0.6 though. That's pretty. That's
0.6 will
that's
not
a major ice storm.
Yeah, 0.6 of an inch of ice is devastating. I mean, look what a tenth or two did, or maybe even a little more did in Oklahoma yesterday. There were car accidents on I-40. They must have been like, it's like a storm chaser convention going to a tornado. They were all crashing, trying to get to a tornado, except it's an ice storm. Because I know, and we talked about this yesterday on the Polygon episode, where the culture in Oklahoma, everybody freaks when the tornadoes come or severe weather. Well, when winter weather comes, it's almost as bad, if not worse, because they send all their storm chaser people out, which they did. And I saw this from Oklahoma City. This was on Twitter. That one person situated himself on I-40, and in a 30-minute period, he saw 4 rollovers in the same place.
Wow.
4 in 30 minutes. I'm thinking, are you that stupid? Not the storm chaser, the people. I'm like, well, I have a 4x4. Well, good enough for that. The 4x4 does literally squat nice. Wasn't there something that was on Twitter or something about saying somebody did something where it says, I have a 4x4 and ice storms, and they had the ice storm say something about ha 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 or some such thing. I'll show you.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I saw it, but I can't pull it up.
Yeah, I remember it. It's true. If people have 4x4s, they're going to think, well, I can do anything. I have a 4x4 pickup truck or an SUV. I'm thinking that's all good for snow, as long as you're driving within the reason. But if it's ice, I don't care what if that's 4x4 or 2x6 or an 8x10. You're not going to go anywhere. You'll crash. Yep. 4x4 ain't going to save your ass, and the police don't want to come and save your ass either. Because they would rather be at home, or at least being helping the people in their local town, not the local yokels going, oh, I'm going to have a good old time. I sound like I'm causing trouble. I get digging myself in real deep.
But say you're really wanting to dig yourself a hole tonight, aren't you?
Yes, because I'm in a ranty mood today.
A very ranty mood. And the other side of this ice storm, let me pull this up. Let me do this. Give me a second. And we'll do that. Give me one more second. I'm going to send this to you, Mr. Jeff.
Okay. But it's just very...
Bang. There we go. You got a message.
Oh, yeah. I saw that, too. Yeah. Oh, good. It's the new one, too. Yeah, this was the other... Don't tell me you want to go.
No, I can't go.
I'm sure you can. If there's a tornado in Oklahoma, you'll be like, I'm stopping everything.
Well, if we left right now, we technically could. But we'd have to stop the show and leave right now.
Yeah, we're not going to stop the show right now to go to Texas.
Or we could stay live and live stream the whole drive there.
Oh, good. Yeah, but you don't have internet in your car. You took it out for the time being.
I have data in my car or on my phone.
Yeah, but it's the 14th of January. Do you want
my data resets tomorrow.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, now I can get it back up. Now, this stupid computer is being snitty. Let me bring this up. Yeah, here it is. Severe weather's coming. So this is on Sunday tomorrow. Do I actually expect anybody to go, oh my gosh? What's going to be more important to the Weather Channel? Severe weather in Texas or ice storm in Kansas City? To them, neither. They'll be out going, in New York, it's sprinkling. Oh my God. My coverage of Winter Storm Jupiter. And there went Matt because he was excited. He decided to leave right now to go to Texas. He's going to Texas right now, evidently. So, and now there's people driving past my house. So anyway, yes. Isn't it good that Matt didn't do this when we were on yesterday's show? Anyway. But there's the severe weather threat. It's a standard slight risk, so I'm not worried about that at this point. So we'll okay, he's going to come back anyway. But I mean, it is the season that there is going to be stuff down there, but I honestly think that it's not going to be an overly big deal. There might be a severe thunderstorm watch. There'll be some warnings in Texas. But I don't think it's going to be a big thing because a lot of people are paying more attention to this ice event because it's covering more people. 5 million gazillion bazillion people are going to be affected. And I'm sure it's being touted on national news, 500 million in the path of ice or some such thing. That'll bring cities to their knees or something like Kansas City and whatnot. Because I mean, it's fairly ridiculous seeing some of the stuff on nowadays. But I mean, I wonder if this is going to pop up. Is it going to let me do this? Oh, too bad. Oh, excuse me. Me and my burping. But this is something interesting, so I'm going to bring this up because I brought up the continental map, so let me bring this back up. This is a good presentation of why it's so cold, or why it's not. You can see this right here, so I'm going to bring this down a little bit. I mean, right here, you see all this warm air coming up, and there's going to be all this cold air. Now, of course, this is on Tuesday at midnight, so this is when we're going to be on the warm side. The ice is going to be back into western Iowa when there's the snow. See the warm air coming up, the cold air coming back. But then as we move further into the week, and I'm going to move it to, let's see, like, for example, as we move it back to, say, Saturday, this will be Saturday, next Saturday at noon. You can see this doesn't look like winter. I mean, all the cold air is stuck up here in Alaska, the Yukon, Nunavut Province, Northwest Territories, down into northern Saskatchewan, Alberta, and British Columbia. Greenland is cold, but you can see, look, all this warm wet air. In fact, you see this. It shows warm air all the way up to Churchill, Manitoba, which is a bit shocking. But the interesting thing about looking at these temperature maps with it in the continental view, you can see cold fronts so easily and low pressure systems. For example, there's a low pressure system right there over Newfoundland and a little bit of a cold front. You can see you can see some of the Gulf Stream right in here, kind of going up from here, and it kind of goes out like that. You can easily pick out a cold front right here, and then it swings up to a low pressure system in the Gulf of Alaska. So you can see that. But I mean, even if I went to the end of the GFS here, I mean, winter doesn't look like it's getting around, but then you look at the end, it's like it's trending back to being winter. Excuse me, because you see a lot more purple and whatnot. But you notice that it's not as cold up here in Alaska because all the cold air has now dumped back into the United States by this point. And you can see more lows. Like here's one where you can see it curly queuing right here. But the one thing that's going to be interesting, and I'm going to bring this back up. This is the total accumulated precipitation in rain And it looks like California is going to get deluged again. Quite a bit of this area, around here, maybe about an inch of rain, but quite a bit of, or an inch of equivalent precipitation. A lot of precipitation down, and I'm fearing that if this is correct, a lot of this could be in the form of ice down here, or maybe even snow later in the month. But only the far western plains and the Black Hills look to get pretty much nothing. But I mean, it looks to be that nobody's going to be outside of them is going to be really dire for precipitation. So we'll see with that, but we'll see if Matt comes back. He may or may not. Who knows? But this storm that's coming, it's going to have to be watched. I might go ahead and bring up not that. Whoopsie. So let me bring that up. Boy, I'm so prepared today. Okay, here we go. So we still have this pretty much the excitement that's going on across the country. You have the ice storm warning, including places like northwest. You have the Oklahoma and far northeastern Texas Panhandle, most of northern Oklahoma, all of Kansas except far northwest Kansas, southeastern third of Nebraska, part of Iowa, most of Missouri except the south, west central Illinois around St. Louis. You have some freezing rain advisories. This is pretty much, I believe, from round 1 for Ohio, and even a little bit of west Maryland and southern Pennsylvania with some winter weather advisories. You have freezing rain advisories in parts of central Illinois, also northern and eastern New Mexico. I think that's Beaver County, Oklahoma. And then this extends down into, say, Lubbock, Amarillo, or Amarillo, Lubbock, and then it kind of comes back up into southwest Oklahoma around Hobart up to Oklahoma City, which is under, Oklahoma City is right here. It's under freezing rain advisory, and that actually extends up into Tulsa. You have winter storm warnings. That's for most of this being in the form of snow. That extends from, say, Nebraska around Norfolk, Nebraska, down to North Platte, down into eastern Colorado, and some winter weather advisories there as well. And we have winter weather advisories here for what's going to be more of a mixture, winter cocktail in Iowa down into western Illinois. Then pretty much even some winter storm issues down here in New Mexico. And this down here, I believe is, I'm to take a guess, is a severe thunderstorm warning, which is correct. These are 2 severe thunderstorm warnings down in New Mexico and around and here in southwestern New Mexico, and another one down over here. So the weather is evidently very interesting. It could be a lot worse, but that's what's going on right here, right now, coming up. So I'll stop sharing that. So we'll see if Matt's going to return. He may not. We'll see. Anyway, but
I'm finally back.
Yes, that means Matt came back. That means we have to keep doing the show some more. So that's so sad. But I showed the national thing, so we don't need to do any more about the ice because we're sick of ice.
Boo ice. Thing is I still have to travel to Applington tonight.
Yeah, he has a hottie toddy with his girlfriend.
May or may not.
Yep, that means yes. But anyway, you'll be fine tonight. There's nothing going to happen tonight.
Yeah.
So
Tom will be getting back tomorrow.
Yeah, you won't have a problem getting back as long as you're getting back, say, before 3 p.m. Unless it starts to do something, and then I would hightail it. But I'm fine. I have a non 4x4 vehicle that I spent tons of money on at Rusty X Ford. I can do anything. I'm invincible.
if anything,
I took this into Kansas.
If anything is going to help me with in terms of that car is the fact that it's low to the ground, it handles really, really well, and it has really good steering. So I can feel the precise moment that I start to lose traction.
Which will be when he's about to crash into something.
Which will be when I grab the e-brake.
No, that's what you do in the parking lot of a closed store.
Well, the roads might be that empty tomorrow on my way back. Who knows?
Tomorrow night, but not tomorrow during the day.
Yeah.
But I honestly think there's going to be some power issues. I don't think they're going to be here, which probably means I'll have no internet for 6 months.
Yep, they're going to shut you off.
No, the internet will just die. Mediacom will blame it on the ice storm. And I'll be like, yeah, but I have power. Oh, no. I'm like, whatever. So I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I still think they're kind of underestimating something that could happen if the temperature drops Monday night. We could get it again. A lot of ifs, maybes, and whatnots. It's still going to be warm next week, nearing 50, and then it's going to rain next weekend, which is going to piss everybody off.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I can understand why the Weather Channel named it, because it's going to hit somebody.
Yep.
I do know that, and I kind of I wanted to discuss this a slight bit before you had to run to Applington in the middle of the night to get hit by 6,000 deer that are going to be on the side of the road. And so the NFL moved the playoff game in Kansas City to tomorrow night.
Yes.
A, do you think that's was a good idea? And B, should they have tried to move it somewhere else out of Kansas City, not to Pittsburgh, because that's not fair to Kansas City who had home field, but to say move it maybe somewhere like close, but not too close. The first thing I'd laugh about is they could have moved it to St. Louis. It's like, because they don't have an NFL team. No, wait, move it to San Diego, because they're not going to have one next year either. So,
well, that'd be all fine and dandy if roughly 68,000 people didn't buy tickets for this game.
Yeah,
this is a playoff game, and that game is darn near sold out, if not actually sold out.
Anything in Kansas City, they're going to sell it out.
Yeah. You'd have to find a way to get all the ticket holders down to wherever you decided it was going to be. And you can't move it anywhere close because, well, they're going to be dealing with the same issues.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not to the degree
for an NFL-sized stadium.
Yeah. I mean, you could move it to Minneapolis, but everybody would be driving through the ice to get to Minneapolis.
And Minneapolis,
not a good idea.
Minneapolis is going to have snow.
Same with Chicago. Same with St. Louis. If that were even feasible, the only viable option might be Denver. But that would take, I think, a Herculean effort.
But
the game is
the funny thing would have been Jerry Jones would have loved this to say, "Oh, we'll host it in Dallas because Dallas and Green Bay are playing, I believe, tomorrow, and Kansas City plays Pittsburgh tomorrow." And it's like, oh, well, Jerry Jones would have been like, I'll host a doubleheader and I'll make more money. It's like, whatever.
Well, that's the thing. Getting everybody moved
to Dallas
for the game
or anywhere for that matter. But here was the problem I said, because they were supposed to play that game today. Or was it supposed to be tomorrow? I don't remember. They moved it to tomorrow night. I'm not sure if it was supposed to be tomorrow, because there was some today and there's some tomorrow. And then there went Matt, because he's just having issues. Yeah, he gives up because he's gonna go. He's have fun. I'm just gonna tell him to go have fun. So we're letting him run off because his phone is not liking him with the Hangouts today. So it's lucky this didn't happen when Skip was on, but anyway, so we'll let him. I gotta send him this. We'll see you next week because this has kind of gotten really wonky because everything's kind of falling apart. We're blaming the ice. We're gonna blame the ice storm for everything. So we'll see you next week for a show that's probably going to be a little bit better than this, hopefully. So we'll see you next week. For Matt, who's still dinging at me, and Jeff, myself. Bye-bye. God help us.